finally, we make it to the top. Right next to the factory is a little sample area where you can purchase the end product. The location is just phenomenal. The owners of the plantation offer us a cup of hot milk tea. Great way to unwind after such a torturous ride.
Well, it's a heck of a long way to come for tea and crumpets, but for the best leaf in southern India, it's worth it. Very good tea.
We enter the building humming with the movements of antique machines, the drop of heavy sacks, and the bustle of workers moving from one station to another. Most of what you see was built by the British in the 1930s, and the whole experience, from the techniques of the workers to the equipment they use, suggests we could very well be in a time warp.
This is really cool. This giant fan behind me is sucking air in order to dry the leaves. They'll go 1 hour cold, 1 hour hot, 1 hour cold, 1 hour hot, until they dry for 8 hours. Right now this flap is up, there's a furnace underneath, hot air is coming up and getting sucked into the fan. After an hour, they'll close the flap, open the windows, and cold mountain air will get sucked through the fan. And here's where the leaves are getting their cold air treatment. If I make a little gap, you can see them blowing up. Woo! After 8 hours, the leaves look like this. Drop them gently down this chute, and they get ground by a massive machine downstairs. Better not slip. Wow. The leaves that I drop down the chute fall into this massive metallic roller created by the British over 100 years ago. By pulling this chain, I drop a gigantic metal plate onto the tea leaves, which pushes them into the grinder. The withered leaves I drop down the chute look a little bit like this. After they're done with the grinding process, this is your product.
This is also single action tea.
This is pretty cool, being part of an old-fashioned tea plantation right in the middle of the process. Oxidization, referred to as fermentation in the industry, is where the tea gets its signature color. And here's how it happens. Looks like something out of a Stephen King novel, doesn't it? This wood burner puts 90-degree heat to the room above me for the initial drying phase and 200-degree heat to the room beside me for the final drying phase.
Yeah, I thought it would be a nice touch to shove in this log, but it's making me look bad. Is it just me, or are old wood burners just kind of creepy?
Woo! Smoke gets in your eyes. After fermentation, the leaves get their final treatment in this machine, where they'll get 200-degree heat and come out as that final product that's going to get stuffed in your tea bag.
These bags will be at the port in Kochi tomorrow, where they'll make their slow sea journey to someone's cup.
These particular bags are going to Kochi tomorrow and Saudi Arabia after that.
Assalamu alaikum, guys. Guess who made your tea?
Compost. Wow.
Nowadays, most tea is made by the crush, tear, curl, or CTC method. It's all machine-driven, indiscriminately grinding everything into perfect tiny flakes. In one end, out the other. A perfectly proportioned, but ultimately low-quality tea bag every time. The orthodox style that is practiced at this factory is labor-intensive, but naturally more nuanced. The human touch and decision-making resulting in a finer quality product.
And this is the oldest orthodox tea plantation in the world.
And it's the highest tea plantation in the world. It's 100% organic. Who wants a sip?
awesome experience. When we were coming in, I was a little worried because reading all the guidebooks and the literature, it looked like the only place you could see tea being made was in this tea museum. And yeah, they processed it, but it was more for tourists, kind of like a dog and pony show. So then I heard about this gnarly Jeep ride up in the mountains to a tea plantation. And then, honestly, I was just excited about doing this crazy, adventurous ride and maybe getting a cup of tea at the top and enjoying a nice view. We get up here, and they've got a working tea factory. Not only working tea factory, but one from the 1930s. Not only do they have it, but they're like, come on inside, see how we make the tea. And not only can we come inside, but they're like, hey, Johnny, you throw the tea in the machine. Hey, grab this tray, you wash the tea. So I get right in the thick of every single process on how this tea is being made up until it comes out in the final product, which apparently this batch is being sent to Saudi Arabia. Amazing experience. And all just spur of the moment, serendipity, didn't expect that to happen.
जब चाहो ऑन हो जाओ, एपिक ऑन चलाओ, अवेलेबल across all devices.